Was. Primo, it's time. It's time.
Yep.
That's a great line. Great minds thinking alike moment. Me and AG just had right before the show just started.
No doubt.
Yeah,
There be far few in between. Yeah.
look here, man. Welcome to Thursday night. This is Hip Hop Talks. Click like and subscribe to the page.
Indeed.
2,000 people are watching, but we don't have 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, talk on that, Coop. Speak on that, please.
I mean, don't just watch the cause, support the cause.
Yeah.
Be with the cause, be with the movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about what's next. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, we are what's next. So it's like, get plugged to a player. You know what I mean?
Nah, we got now. We don't care who got next.
Yeah, we do it for the people, man. Everything we do it for the people. It's not about us. It's about the people. The interviews that we have lined up.
Just click like and subscribe. It costs you nothing at all. It's literally free. It's not like we want $1.99 or something like it's an app. It's YouTube.
Run them numbers up, people.
And don't you understand that they take 30%? Every single.
It's like Uncle Sam.
Every single time. There is no like Christmas bonus where they like deflect or negate or take 5%. No, it's 30% a month.
Yes, off your head top before you even do anything.
I mean, you think that they like were acquainted with the federal government? Hold up, wait. They are acquainted with the federal government.
Absolutely.
There's that.
Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Don't get me started on that. But the proceeds go to a good cause. The proceeds actually go to us getting the people that you all want us to interview so you can have interaction with those guys. We've done it on Station Head and we're bringing that over here to Hip Hop Talks on YouTube. So those are the things that we're doing for the people because we want you all to enjoy what true hip hop is about, to get a chance to talk to those and actually respond to those hip hop artists and those behind the scenes that you never had a chance to talk to. So yeah, plug in.
Run those numbers up. Run all of our social media numbers up. Run our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and now our TikTok page. Like, run it up for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Join the Discord.
To quote.
No.
Discord be popping, man.
All day.
I can't. It's just an overload. I can't.
It's a lot. I'm not going to front. It's a lot. I'm not going to front. Yeah. Boss.
If you love me, please let me know. Tyrag your neck and learn the sets we throw. Yeah. These are the days of our lives.
So, all the Paracoopas out there, that's the Coop fan base. We're going to Paracoopas. You know what I mean?
You want to know what? Hey, Sean, before we get started, since you like to have, quantifiable facts and shit.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you name how many NBA players have won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP in the same season with your quantifiable fact?
The good thing about quantifiable facts, you have to go do the research so you can be on point. So to answer your question, only person I can think of right now is Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
No.
Off the top of my head. You said MVP, same year, Finals MVP, and Defensive Player MVP?
Yes.
Jordan got Defensive Player of the Year in '88. He did not win a title that year.
Yes, that is correct.
It was
wasn't he?
Is who? Who say it again? Okay. Thank you. I want to thank you. No, you want to be petty and come up with new segments behind me and AG's back. I'm going to hit your ass with some quantifiable facts. Only player in NBA history ever to do it. Akeem.
Oh, my goodness. I can't be doing this.
Yeah, he put you in the corner with that one, Sean.
He did. But you know what? Lucky for me, I am mighty.
Take these hands.
That was 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I moved on. I think you should too. I
won't be doing that. Have you been watching me on YouTube for the last 3 or 4 years? If I struck you as the type of individual that's going to let it go.
He won't let it go, man. I don't get it.
Oh, real quick. I mean, this is off topic. Me and my cousin was having a debate today. Is Jokic Joker in conversation for top 5 centers? I say no.
Not yet,
Not yet.
but he's in the
How
top 10
how low
already.
would you put him? Like 6 or 7 in that ballpark? About 7?
Off the top of my head, I mean, there's the obvious, which I think is Bill Russell, Wilt, Kareem,
Yep.
Shaq,
Yep.
King. Those 5
That's
are
fine.
easy.
I
I
still
would.
got David.
I was about to say. I would still take David Robinson.
The Admiral, yeah.
Patrick Ewing is where the conversation starts for me.
No. I was actually thinking Moses Malone, actually, too.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about Moses. So, yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
I'd actually put Moses ahead of David Robinson, actually.
I can't do that.
Tough. That's
Well,
tough.
Moses was the man for his rings. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And he won more MVP awards. 3.
True. We hadn't seen a center like David, you know.
And led the league in rebounding more times than David Robinson did.
True. David was better on defense.
He was.
And, you know, as far as what he could do as a 7-footer, hadn't been seen before. So, I mean, he was fast as KG. So I just ranked David a little bit higher than Moses. That's personal.
I can't do that. I think Moses did more with less.
I'm not mad at that because Moses is one of those ones that get forgotten in these talks. So, you know.
So I would tell you after that, Jokic is in the conversation. So as high as I would put him would be 8. Because that would be 6 and 7, depending on how you argue on that. And
they about gave USA a L today. It was going to have to call Border Patrol on our team and not let them back over here if they let that happen.
Well, you know, since we're going to go and transition to that, I actually wanted to talk about that anyway. And here's what I want people to realize, and then we can get the show started. You see who closed the game, right? It was LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant,
and the Slim Reaper,
and with some Embiid sprinkled in.
Yep.
Like the OGs took us to the finish line. Like
speaking of OGs, the OG Dream Team wouldn't even let it come down to that. That's crazy.
They wouldn't have. They never played a team this good. The best team that they played, the best team that the Dream Team, the original Dream Team played, like this time is 10 times better than the best team that they played. They got Jokic. We're talking about him in top 10 centers all time. What player existed in 1992 from overseas that was top 10 at any position all time when they actually existed?
Yeah, the best team they played was Croatia.
Yeah.
That ain't going to cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Charles Barkley said, though, he brought up some good points. A lot of these teams is top heavy with NBA players. They got a couple NBA stars, but they ain't bringing somebody like KD off the bench or whatever. So the world has caught up to the U.S., but they not stacked from top to bottom like our team is. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, here's why I'm worried. Well, KD, Steph, and LeBron ain't playing in the next 10 Olympics.
Right.
No.
And we don't have verifiable replacements for them yet because look at the players that we're going to lose because the chances are by the time the next Olympics come around, all 3 of them are going to be either retired or very close to. LeBron's probably going to be retired.
Yeah.
Steph and KD are going on like 37 and 38, I think, in the calendar year. Steph being the elder by a year. And so it's like it wouldn't be crazy to think that like 4 years from now, well, they won't be here to be a verifiable option at all. LeBron will be gone. These 2 niggas will be like old by then. That'll be 4 years from now. We don't even know if they'll be playing basketball.
Embiid's knees will be retired by then.
Yeah. Embiid's window is now. Embiid's window is today. Matter of fact, Embiid's window is yesterday.
It was. It was.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes me worry about the future of men's basketball. It's like outside of Ant, I don't see a verifiable replacement or something. To quote Sean in his punk ass segment, quantifiable.
Come on, man. Cool. You gotta move on, man. You gotta move on.
Let's start the show, fellas.
You move on.
Let me get the 2 super chat. Tracy G, appreciate you. Let's get the brilliance of Drizzy Drake smashing the whole internet right now with this footage. Yo, we're gonna get all into it. 007, Queens get the money. Big Sean talking his ish. His next album has to be delivered. Hopefully he releases music consistently. There's nobody up next in the new generation. We're gonna talk about that too, 007. Appreciate you, bro. Thank all of you for coming in. We got more people coming into the chat. Let's try to get the chat live. Let's try to get everybody in here because we have a lot that we want to peel back. Fellas, y'all want to start with Ye and Ty Dolla, Vultures 2? I know last episode Coop was like, they ain't never dropping the album. And they heard you, Coop. And Ye said, here we go. Vultures 2 on your head top 3 hours later after the pod. No, 2 hours later after the pod. Vultures 2 on your head top. How you feel about that, Coop? Since you want to talk about quantifiable facts and quantifiable evidence, you said it wasn't going to drop. I said, Coop, I think it's about to drop. You said, nah, they ain't going to drop.
Y'all gonna be doing this the whole show.
Your head top, Coop. So what you got to say about Vultures 2?
I see what type of show it's about to be. Well, quite frankly, they can take it back off my head top. And,
That's wild.
right.
Off my head top.
They can put it right back wherever they sent it, Sean, because this album ain't it.
Damn. Why?
What do you mean? Why? What did you just eat?
That's the shortest Coop analysis ever.
That's what I was waiting for more. I'm like, why? That's what I said, why? You say after that.
What are we doing here? No, what are we doing here? You want to know what? We need to address a couple of things briefly. The same things, at least as far as on the rap list is concerned, that makes Kanye a draw and makes Kanye great is his ability to make albums, very much like Kendrick. We don't consider him to be a Black Thought or Rakim or Nas or Big Pun on the mic lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
We're not expecting that. We're expecting the project to be fire. In a lot of ways, because it's him, we expect it to be innovative. When is the last time a project has been fire? When is the last time has it been innovative? I was listening to some of these beats today, and I'm like, outside of the beats that sound like they were a riff on Carnival, and Carnival's the best song between both of these sets by such a leap and bound. Like, Carnival is so much better than every last song they've made between these two projects that it's astounding to me. It's very problematic. This album's not that good. It has some moments. It's got about 6 records, guys. It's got about 6 joints.
I got 6 written down.
You got 6?
Yep.
So do I.
2, 3, 4, 5. No, I actually got 7.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. When you're gonna have to show me. Look, you're gonna have to show me where you did a 7 with that hand.
Real quick, let me see if you got the same ones, Coop. Like just off the top of your head. 530.
Yep.
Of course. Field Trip.
Yep.
Slide.
Yep.
Forever Rolling.
No.
You don't like that one? Okay.
That might
Sky
be
City.
Yep. 4.
Lifestyle.
5.
Pride.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
You know, I'm gonna slide it to you like AG, you know what I mean? Because I want to hear your thoughts. But you know, he said something a long time ago on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and I thought it was one of the best bars of his career. But it was one of those things that somebody like dissect stuff. It's like it made me trouble when he said reality is catching up to me, taking my child. I'm fighting for custody. Like part of his creative genius, he was letting you know, was because of the childlike state that it exists in. And I hate to say it, Kanye's music is always reflected where he is in his life for the most part. And these last couple projects are reflective of how in disarray it is at times. Because he used to be able to take these moments of spontaneous combustion and pull them in together and like make a new universe. You know what I'm saying? Like literally implode it all together. You know what I mean? That's why I like Late Registration so much. He put so many different pieces and fabrics together, but made it cohesive somehow. That's a producer who's also a great rapper, and it's just like, I see flashes of that guy. Like, you know what? I was having flashes. Like, I'm not joking. I was having flashes of like Dwayne Wade's knees as he was declining when I was listening to this project.
That's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Wade didn't have to live. Yeah.
Late Registration is my favorite Kanye joint as well, Coop.
Yeah. So it's like,
I want to speak to your
like
point
no,
though.
because I've been very hard on Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye deserved the same amount of smoke, if not more. When's the last time he made something dope for somebody else outside of Daytona, and which is
Yeah,
now what, we're 6 years removed from Daytona? Am I correct? 5, 6 years?
Wow,
uh, 6 years. Yeah,
yeah.
We're 6 years removed from Daytona. What else does he have in the last 10 years? I've been on Kendrick about 7 years. What about Kanye's last decade?
yeah.
You got to
I
be
want to
fair.
I want to speak to that, Coop, because you bring up a good point, but I want to peel back, the curtain a little bit more to, my thought process. The songs that I named, I love the sonics of it, but I think that 530 would be the best example of where I'm gonna go with my point. If this song was completed and he's not mumbling and it sounds like a rough demo on the last verse. If this song was completed, it would be bound to level, in my opinion. Is that quality. But I think with Kanye, and like you said, Coop, in the last decade, we have a quality control issue, right? And I
Hold
think
on, Andy. We don't have a quality control issue. It's
Not
just
with
that
him.
there's not enough quality. Quite
right. But here's what I think is attributed in that. Me and my homie were talking early this morning, and he thinks that some of that is due to his icon status, that he's just like, screw it, I'll put out whatever, and they'll, consume it because I am who I am. It's like he's not even trying sometime on the raps,
I
which
can't
that
do that.
that could be one part of it. But here's my thing. I think we can split Kanye's career into two distinct halves. I think you got pre-Pablo Kanye and then post-Pablo Kanye, because the life of Pablo comes in at the digital age. And he has this thing where he's obsessed with like, yo, I'm gonna just put this shit out. Y'all consume it. And then because we're in the digital age, I don't have to send it for pressing, mastering, all this stuff. I'm going to tweak it as we go along. Like you listen to it next week, it might be different elements in the beat, or he take this out or add, some vocals to it or whatever. He's did that with Pablo. He's did that with Donda. He's did that, with the Donda 2 joint that was on the stem player. He's did it with both Vultures. I think that the digital age has allowed him some freedoms that you really shouldn't have as an artist, because we're like getting rough demos of songs that got potential to be something else. And he's just basically, you can see hearing the potential in some of these records, but he's just putting it out like, yo, here's his BS. And then we'll like, fix it as we go along. It's like rough draft after rough draft after rough draft. But if you look at everything pre-Pablo, look at the care and the effort that he put into curating an album, to grabbing these features and making sure, this person had the vocals with that person and so on and so forth. The track listings were immaculate. But post-Pablo, we got a different Kanye as far as his approach to doing these bodies of work in these albums.
Sean, what do you think?
I'm agreeing with both of you guys in different ways. This is a very incomplete album. We hear it in the sounds, and we're not used to that from Kanye. Kanye is perfectionist when it comes to putting quality music out. And like Coop said, there's no quality control. The quality is no longer there. I think Kanye has become a prisoner of his own creativity, because he's being overly creative by making this seem as something that's it's not immutable anymore, where it's going to continue to grow as the song grow, as the content grow. He wants the fans to be on for the journey. We don't care about that. That's
Right.
being overly creative. You don't give me the product as you intended to be listened to, right? Because now you look at it from a perspective of, you guys said, late registration. You think about how masterful that was. Think about how masterful Dark Twisted Fantasy was. How complete it's solid. It was fulfilling. This is not fulfilling. I wanted to hear more Ty Dolla $ign. I want to hear Ty Dolla do what Ty Dolla does.
Whoa. We got that on the first one. That was part of the problem with the first one. I was actually about to say, at least he's rapping on this one.
Yeah.
Consistently.
He's been rapping more.
Yeah, it's closer to being an actual Kanye album, though.
Bingo.
But the cake is always underbaked. Like in the last handful of releases, the cake is always underbaked. But then after the fact, when you set the cake out, now I add the vanilla extract and what I'm saying? You're doing it after the fact.
That's the problem. We asking this nigga to bake cakes when he's supposed to be cooking crack for us. Got the job description wrong. Got the job description wrong.
Absolutely. It's
that
like
crack music.
and Kanye typically, he's one of the best curators, no matter who he brings in the studio with him.
Top tier, like bar none.
And we're not seeing that from Ty Dolla. You would think that he would raise the bar with someone like Ty Dolla. Ty Dolla hasn't even pause. But we're not seeing him at a zenith that we would probably see with any other artist with Ye in Ye's prime, or even when Ye just in the studio collaborating and curating.
But Ty Dolla $ign is a dope feature artist. He rarely misses on features, but to make a project with Kanye and the personality he is takes a lot, because I've seen interviews with Jay-Z saying that it was hard, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit. It was literally difficult when they were making Watch the Throne. You know what I mean? Just like the struggle and the arguments over something like, so I can only imagine, what it's like for Ty in this situation.
Do I need to say it?
Say whatever, man.
It's over.
Yeah.
We need to start changing our expectations.
Yeah. But do you think that this project drops his legacy?
I haven't taken enough time to marinate on that yet, to be honest with you. If you ask me again on Sunday, I'll probably be able to give you a more detailed analysis of how I feel about that right now as it stands. Because here's the thing that I do believe that he has, because he is Kanye, he does have equity. So I've listened to this album 2 times. I do need to hear it. Like when I listen to something like one time, like all the way through, like everything. Like I do that at least 3 times. And so my opinions about a lot of albums have changed after a 3rd listen, but I can usually feel it happening. It's like the first time it's like, okay. And the second time be like, oh, and then the third time be like, wow, I don't see that happening, because I'm on listen number 2, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? This is disorganized, and you're Kanye West. That's the problem with it, is that you want to know what it is. His albums, like most great artists in all genres, well, it kind of tells you a story as it goes along.
Right.
And you feel encapsulated in a good way into their world. These are just fucking songs.
No direction.
Right.
These are just songs. You understand what I'm saying? Right. There is no real cohesion or like editing. I don't know what's going on.
The editing process is different. Like the Wyoming sessions outside of Daytona.
Process exists, AG.
Yeah, it was just throwing stuff together. But to your point, I like that you use the word equity, because his equity is so high. Like, bro has College Dropout, Late Registration, Dark Twisted Fantasy, Graduation, 808s. Like, you know what I mean?
And we're holding on to that. It's like,
right. So hold on. That's what I mean. Is it's like, well, hold on. What are we holding on to? Because not to be funny and not to be like too black. It's not like the nigga made Thriller or Purple Rain.
It's like that Dave Chappelle joint. He made Thriller.
Right. It's not like he made Thriller or Purple Rain. It's like that didn't happen. So it's like can we like?
Right.
But he's responsible for so much classic material, though. It's hard to really knock him down any peg.
The tree of Kanye is so important to hip hop.
It is. It's vastly important.
And it's hard for us to say, man, he's putting out this. It's hard to fathom that he's putting this out. You know what I mean? Because the tree of Kanye is so vast.
But this is what's crazy. It's a whole generation that will swear by this version of Kanye. That's the wild part.
Yes.
Okay, so if I may, well, those kids are stupid. So that's how that goes.
But you can literally put it in 2 halves. I think that change occurred around the life of Pablo for me. The digital age where he can keep, tweaking and editing stuff. I don't think it's to his benefit.
I think that's a very valid point about the transition, AG. But here's what I would say. Like, what are we actually rating this album?
I don't think it's as good as the first one. I don't know if I can put a number on it, but I don't think it's as good as Vultures 1.
I give it a 3.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
Because that one didn't hold up too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many records do you all listen to off of Vultures 1? I only listen to Carnival.
Probably about the same on this one. About 7, maybe 8 tops.
About 3, maybe 4, maybe.
And there's more joints coming out. My son just told me it's a deluxe version that's on his website. It's not on streaming yet. They got a song with Cuddy and then another song I think that's supposed to be on his website.
It's gonna sound like this. Tell him to stop. Somebody make him stop.
And that's what
he needs to be open hand slapped. That's what needs to happen.
He's doing too much right now. Honestly, he's doing too much, and we got to call it what it is. He's doing way too much. And AG, I don't disagree with your take on before Pablo or after Pablo, but I think we started seeing that slight transition by 808s. When Kanye started getting into that other different soundscape that became the Nemo sound or whatever you want to call it, like the Drake sound now of today. And again, that's his influence. Because when you influence an artist as big as Drake, your ego goes crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Kanye, let's be honest, fellas. And I know the Jay fans out there going to probably go bonkers, but he kind of leapfrogged Jay at one point. You know what I mean? When I'm not talking about as far
popularity,
as popularity, global popularity.
Yeah.
Watch the Throne. He kind of watched Jay on Watch the Throne.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna have to interject on Jay's behalf. That's like, quite frankly, that's the type of game. That's the difference between, since we were talking about the Olympics earlier, like traditional standard NBA basketball that our players are used to playing, and then playing in this USA Olympic global format of basketball, which is like shorter quarters, less fouls. You know what I mean? Like different rim size, like all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff on Watch the Throne is made for Kanye because Kanye made it.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, but I don't like saying he watched Jay on that though.
So he's better than Jay on there, but he's better than Jay on there because the beats were for him.
Right. You hit the nail on that. You hit the nail on the head, Coop. I think in any collab album, and you brought up D Wade earlier, Coop. So this is a good analogy. Like for Miami to win the championship, D Wade had to fall back and say, you know what? I gotta concede. LeBron has to be the guy for us to win this chip. I think on every collab album, one artist, if it's a 2-artist collab, one artist has to concede and say, like, yo, I'm gonna ride shotgun, you take the steering wheel, and I'm gonna, follow your lead and we'll go wherever you take us. I think that Watch the Throne, Kanye was evidently behind the wheel on that, and Jay stepped into his world. Even Distant Relatives, that was Damian Marley's world, and Nas had to adjust to that. And What a Time to Be Alive, I think that was more Future's bag. Drake had to adjust to that.
That's a Future bag.
Yeah, and then you fast forward to Her Loss. I think that was more Drake's bag, and then 21 had to adjust to Drake. So I think every collab album has a clear cut, somebody behind the wheel leader.
I get what you're saying.
So I don't like saying somebody was washed when they clearly made a sacrifice to step into the other person's zone.
I think here's the thing.
You're Jay-Z.
Here's the thing. We're talking about Watch the Throne right now?
Yep.
Do it.
It's the last quality project that he actually has been a part of, though. And that's what I'm saying about, this is looking like it might not be. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to interject, Coop. I will give Mercy a nod. Not Mercy, but Cruel Summer was right after the album. Cruel Summer album was dope. Super dope.
Okay, so no. I don't think it was super dope. I thought it was really dope.
But the curation aspect that you spoke to earlier, the curation of it.
The first six, seven joints on there, I feel like we're strong, but the rest of it not so much, in my opinion. But I get what you're saying. But look at that time frame. We are 10 years removed from that time frame, is what I'm saying, AG.
And guess what was next up?
What?
Pablo. That's what I keep alluding to, man. That was the shift. For me,
you're right. I'm gonna have to side with you on that. But but even with siding with you on that, what are we rating this album though? What does Hip Hop Talks think of this album?
3.
I got a 3 on it, and that's subject to change by going lower.
I can't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I can't justify giving this a 3.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even paying him any attention anymore.
I'm being honest,
Yeah,
man.
I'm with you on the 3. 3's fair.
Yeah, I can't find a rational reason after listening to this for 2 times why I should give it a 3.5 or
But
even
even the pen though, Coop, what do you think about, and you too, Sean, the pen? Because we know Kanye got some rhymes written for him before by Sci-Hi, and evidently Sci-Hi is still around. He's on the joint Sky City, and other people penned some joints for Kanye, but these joints, I don't know if he was by himself when creating a lot of these lyrics, but some of these joints don't sound like he even trying. What he's doing. I will give him this credit. He understands the era because he's trying to create more vibes than lyrical, powerful music. He's just like, let's go for a vibe. I think that's the bag he's in right now.
and I respect that. And you know what that got him? That just got him a 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you mumbling on the second verse of a song that has potential to be one of the best songs of the year, and you mumbling on the second verse, come on, man.
But the rappers that's hot right now, that's what they do. I mean, I'm not shooting them no bail, but it's just a fact.
He's not one of them.
Right.
He's not
He's
one of them.
regressing to that.
Maybe that's who he is at this point.
Hold on, but listen to what the key word that you said though is regressing.
Right.
I think we need to digress to the next topic though, because this shit is breaking out.
That might be the illest transition in hip hop talks history right there.
It is. I don't want to talk. I really don't want to talk about this, to be honest with you, because it's like my real unfiltered thoughts about how I feel. Like it's just.
Well, let's stay with Watch the Throne though. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel any type of way about it. It's just an okay project.
You don't think it's close to classic?
Good. It's good. It's really. If you want me to say it's really good, I guess I'll say it's really good.
It's good.
Not going past really good.
I think it's a great album, but I think it's one of those albums where the moment outweighs the quality. So it's a classic moment, which kind of pushes the album for a lot of people into classic status. But I think the hype of it was bigger than what the output was.
How about this? I think they did just enough to not get disrespected for what their stature was at the time that they made it. How about that?
Exactly.
That's fair. But I really mess with the album. The joints I like is unconventional. Like I like Murder to Excellence. I go back to Who Gonna Stop Me, Welcome to the Jungle, Why I Love You, Prime Time, New Day. I don't even revisit.
Nobody does that, AJ.
Hey, what you say, Sean? I'm unique. I'm unique.
Maybe Murder to Excellence. Murder to Excellence.
I'm rather unique. But I don't even go back to the singles. Those album cuts is the ones I mess with mostly. But I really like the album.
The album's better than a 3, that's for damn sure. But that ain't saying
3.5. 3.5.
I'll give it a 4.
Nah, bro, don't do that.
I'll give Watch the Throne a 4.
Okay.
A lot of the beats on there were dope.
I might have to say 4.5.
It has No Church for the Wild.
Otis slap.
It's got Ham.
Otis was his moment.
I wasn't a fan of Ham. I don't like Ham at all. That's my least favorite song other than the Beyonce Liftoff joint. Those 2 songs I skip every time.
I put the Beyonce joint out of my mind when I talk about the album. But
that's true.
As you should. As I should.
So
let's move on to the artist that has leapfrogged by this time. And that's one of Coop's favorite artists, actually, Drizzy. Drizzy is back, man. And I love it.
I want my jacket before it gets cold outside. I let this nigga know.
Yo, Drizzy is back at it. And I want everybody who was hating on Coop's take on Kendrick, I want y'all to hate even more, because Coop is going to go far with his Drake dropping 100 gigabytes out there on your head top. All you Kendrick fans, all you Cole fans, all you ASAP Rocky fans, all you Rihanna fans, all of you, y'all getting it one by one from Drizzy. He's back. Mad Max, rejoice. He's back.
Y'all got to excuse Sean. He got I think Academics retweeted him today, so he kind of feeling themselves.
Shout out to academics,
Sean think you part of OVO.
Did academics retweet you today?
Yeah, man. Shout out to academics, man. Act know what the vibes is, man.
He really didn't, but Sean up here acting like it.
Okay. I was about to say, because personally, I don't believe that happened. I think you're lying.
Yo, educated, man. Yo, these cats from West Virginia, man. I tell you. But cool. Our boy's back, man.
I'm telling you. First of all, I need my jacket by my birthday. That's in October, so I want my jacket by.
You are OVO.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You want to know what's crazy? I don't know how I got here. I'm a Pusha T fan.
Right. That's crazy.
I don't know how I got here. Like, that's the beautiful thing about hip hop is that I don't know how I ended up here. And that's why I know Kendrick's fan base is the worst fan base of all time, because they've got me here when I'm actually a Pusha T fan at heart. He's like post Nas's like quote unquote lyrical prime. Pusha T's my favorite MC. Like, personally.
I ain't mad at that.
Like, for me personally. So that's around 2006-ish. That's why I like Hell Hath No Fury so much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Pusha T and Malice, just real sidebar, they sound better than Jay and Nas in 2006. You understand that, right? Okay. Yeah. Just, so you understand, at least in that time frame and period. So Drake, he's kind of a big deal. Here's how you need to look at it. It's like, one of the things that gets, Jay so idolized is, because of his financial prowess, and Drake is very much kind of like off that tree and train of thought and thinking, was involved in a lot of things like Jay, and is really like getting money on a rapper level that nobody except for M and J is really like gotten money, like while they were still like really, really actively doing it. And nobody really talks about it. It's kind of like, it's like, all of y'all thought Jay was king because he had way more money and clout and power than all these niggas. And it's like, you do understand Drake has the same thing though, right?
Drake is the modern Jay. And before people say jumping out the window saying that, but just in
overall,
the grand scheme of stuff.
Not as an MC, but like in the value that he creates that's centered around him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, if that's how most of y'all have measured that dude, it's like, well, he's still that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because much like the last time a dude lost a battle like this, that guy's career didn't stop at all.
I mean, he fake stopped it, but it kept going.
That was about avoiding 50. Everybody should have avoided 50. 50 was like a typhoon coming through like New York City, wiping out all rappers that like made albums like, before 1997. Like,
I'm glad you brought up 50 real quick, Coop. I want to share something that my homie, we was texting back and forth earlier, and he told me that the one thing about this battle, comparing it to 50 and Ja, like since you brought up 50 Cent, when 50 took out Ja, he was already prepped and ready to take the baton and run with it and take all those fans and then some. So he was saying to me that
it was a plan.
It was a plan, right? So he said where this Drake battle is a little bit different is, Kendrick won, but is he ready to take that baton and keep, feeding the people, with the music and supplant what Drake brought to the populace? And now, to that, you say what?
I'm not overstating it when I say this. I mean, and let's just be real. He don't have that in him.
It's not his MO. It's not his MO. Like, he disappears.
Okay. I'm not saying it like in a negative connotation. I know his whack ass fan base is gonna are gonna think that I'm like being funny when I say that, but I'm actually saying that, he is in a lot of ways he's a craftsman,
Mm-hmm.
and so he really does take time like in crafting, where Drake is kind of more like how the machine and the business side of the music industry really wants you to work as an MC and an artist at the rate and at the high quality level and at the attention and hits and likes and views and downloads and streams that it garners, like Drake fits into that machine well. He, different fighters train different. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trained for different fights, really. You know what I'm saying? They cross over into each other's world some. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, when you go back to your best fights, Ali Frazier. It's like, well, Ali really don't want to get like close with Frazier because of them body blows and them short, but he can, you know. Frazier don't really want to jab with Ali all night, but he can. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they cross over into each other's worlds, but their fights are different. That's what makes the fight so enticing. You know what I'm saying? If they fought the same way, that would really be like, it's hard for it to reach a certain level when the styles are similar and the same. It's like that's why we don't really talk about the Kiss and Siegel beef as much as like we should. It's like it was actually a great beef, but we don't really talk about it. But that's because the styles were so similar. The rhetoric.
That's actually my low key favorite hip hop battle of all time, and it got overshadowed by Jay and Nas. But that's Siegel and Kiss.
Talking on some bar shit is top 5 in my
opinion. What a time to be alive.
It was a lot going on during that time. Cool. I want to piggyback off what you said about Drake's work ethic, because this drop of the 100 gigabytes, this tells you how much the guy actually works. Because we can hate Drake all we want, we can say what we want to say about him, we can badge him and all these things, but he's probably one of the hardest working artists, if not the hardest working rapper in hip hop. Because you think about everything he dropped, these are unreleased, these are joints that he actually, like he did the joint for Yikes, the reference track for Yikes for Kanye back in 2018. You got all these videos, we got all these clips, you got all of this material that he just dropped just out of nowhere. Now again, it's taken up now. Like you haven't downloaded when it first came out, it's not gonna be there. But he's showing you his actual work ethic. And I know we have people saying that he should have, take a step back after taking the L to the battle, should have stopped. And I think it was you, right, AG? You said that he should have stopped. I said yes and no. But him dropping this, he's still showing. I think his plan is to show people like Kendrick is going to ride this Not Like Us as long as you allow him to. Well, I'm going to continue to do my thing. I'm going to have a joint with Gordo. I'm going that which is fire. It's fuego. I'm going to have a joint with Lotto. I'm going to come back with Young Thug at 21. He's showing every avenue that got him the stardom to where he's at before post battle, right? I mean, before the battle. And now he's showing that I'm going right back to that. And I got more in the tuck, just in case you were wondering. You cannot deny his work ethic. It's the total opposite of someone like K-Dot, who takes his time to curate, who takes his time to really pin joints and not be as consistent. So back to your original point, AG, when you were saying your homeboy was talking about 50 was prepared to take the baton and run with it, it was 50's time. It was his time. He had G-Unit locked in. He was locked in. You got Dre, you got M. You got all these different entities in your favor. This is not that. This is not that. Because right now, the industry going to have to look at Drake and decide whether or not they want to make money or not. In lack of better words. Do I want to make money? Or do I want to continue to be against this guy? He stepped on the Vultures 2 album release by making a mention of, the joint album that's coming out, a Party Next Door. You know what I mean?
That was a move I didn't see coming.
Of course. It's Art of War.
I like that.
I mean? I loved it.
Hey, yo, but all those OVO artists that got shit, Drake don't have many allies left in the game. So he's like, all y'all that I shelved before, like, yo, y'all off the bench now.
Yo, Mad Max, I ain't trying to chill with Rocky Slam. My bad, Mad Max, but he did get Rocky, though. And I'm a Rocky fan. Dude says, chat, Drake didn't have to do all that. Just drop some heat and keep it moving. Yeah. The Raisin Head, appreciate you. Young Chris wrote beans during the beef.
I don't know about that.
I heard some whispers about that. I don't know how true it is, but I heard some whispers about that. I think he's influenced some of those things. Tracy G with the $5 chat. No, Drake got to keep doing it, man. That's a song with 21. It's hard as fuck. Straight fire. Nigga was barred up. Yeah,
it is.
He can do these things. So why? What do you want to do? Roll over?
I got a question for you, Sean. Like, all right, you're taking one angle perspective. Like, you're basically saying this is showing it's a reminder to people to his work ethic. It's a flex. Like, yo, I can just do a hard drive dump of like all the stuff, I got songs, footage, whatever. And then it's the other end of the spectrum. It's a lot of people saying like, yo, this is an act of desperation because you wouldn't do that if you wouldn't have lost this beef. So you trying to get people, back on the wagon again. So what do you say to that?
I'm going to use one of Coop's words. This is the evidence he's showing y'all. He's giving y'all evidence that he has stuff in the tuck. Now, I'm not giving for OVO or Drake. I'm just saying to drop all of this material, reference tracks, unfinished products, then he got new releases. All of this stuff is saying, I have evidence of I'm continuing to work. I got stuff out here I can drop at any moment.
Okay, Sean. So let me piggyback off of you and take it like a step further, if I may.
Yeah.
This is him saying it's like, oh no, I do plenty of writing and reciting and recording and shit on my own without a ghostwriter. That's A.
Yep.
B, it's nothing for me to hand this mass amount of material to you because that means I've got more. It's a chess move too, to let you know it's like, well, if I'll just let that fly out of the sky like that, you know what I'm saying? How much more do you really think I have?
And it's a lot to let fly.
You talking about gigabyte, he might have a terabyte worth of material.
Thanks.
Well, to both of y'all's point, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, and I got a prediction. And I don't know if this will be true or not, but this is what I got to say. The truth in the middle is like people saying who he's just doing this out of desperation. I don't totally disagree with that. The timing may look like that, but I disagree in a sense because Drake has been known over the years to drop Lucy after Lucy after Lucy, like only available on SoundCloud and not on streaming services, right? And then at one point, he even packaged those up together and released a crazy dope project, Care Package, which should be credit, that and Untitled Unmastered should be credit to Nas's Lost Tapes, because he was the first person who started repurposing unreleased songs and all that. But that's another story for another day. But what I'm going to say is I think that the 100 gigabyte, drop is signaling, I think he's going to test the waters with a Care Package too. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he's going to, we got the 3 joints. I think we're going to get a full album of unreleased joints. And I'm going to say it's going to be a Care Package 2, if not tonight, maybe next week, because I don't think it's a coincidence as to why Big Sean pushed his album back a couple weeks, because he was supposed to drop tonight. Mm-hmm. So that's my bold prediction, that this is leading into a Care Package 2, previously unreleased joints.
Yeah.
AG.
What up?
There is no act of desperation where you sit where Drake sits. That's what you get what I'm saying? Like, there is no act of desperation. Even with Kendrick being as big as he is, as great as he is, big bad boogeyman that he may be. Like, all of that shit. Like, y'all know Drake big, right? Pause.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's crazy.
I was going to say the thing. I was going to
let it go, man.
No. But Drake's
like a lot of
Drake's stature in this game is like Drake's stature in this game, guys. If you're talking about longevity, is about as strong as anybody could claim to have.
Yeah.
Like whether you like it or not, like his claim to like years of like succession of like strength. Like, even if you don't feel like he's king, I'm talking about like there are different kings that live in different like provinces and like, you know what I'm saying, and in different states and in different, and it's like, there are great kings like everywhere. It doesn't have to be like necessarily saying he's the best king of this era, but it's like, as far as kingdoms go, it's got about as good as a kingdom as anybody's ever had in this hip hop, stratosphere of ours.
Right.
So,
but despite status, though, you can
out
still
here really eating better than Drake. Like, who got Rihanna fucking footage in the tuck like that?
Yeah.
If I'm ASAP, I'm calling this nigga like, don't you ever do this again, nigga. Okay.
Nah, that's true. But no matter what your stature is, you can still do acts of desperation. And I don't think that's the case. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like, that maybe doesn't get released if he's not in this predicament that he's in right now. But it's something that he's done before in the past, and it's in his wheelhouse and it's on brand. So I'm not holding this against him because he's doing that all now, because he always was like, yo, here's some joints on SoundCloud. They're not on streaming or whatever. And these were some of his best joints, like, you know, Draft Day. And it was a while before 0 to 100 came out on anything. And then, you know, I mean, like I said, he put out a whole album based on these type songs with Care Package. And Care Package is damn near like, you know, 4.5, you know what I'm saying, Mike album. It's fire. So I think we're getting another version of that. You know, I could be wrong. He might have all new material, but I think that it's leading into a release of previously unreleased material to test the waters, to be a temperature check for when he does spin the block and drop something else brand new.
So Peter Park with the $5 chat said Drake is coming with a bunch of new stuff. He's forcing himself to drop by dumping all the old stuff. It could be a play. He's a play. I'm sure it's a play.
Definitely.
I'm sure it's a play. This is not by
He's
accident.
he's very calculated. It's for a reason.
He's very calculated. But what I'm saying is that also too, let's keep in mind who we're dealing with. So when you're talking about Kanye, who doesn't thrive in today's current cycle the way he did in the previous cycle, where you're talking about the guy that has been thriving in that new cycle that you're talking about, better than anybody that we've almost seen thrive in any cycle at any time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there is something to be said for that. The way that he exists in this cycle of time, in terms of relevancy, culturally, musically, and chart and numbers wise, you do understand that that is an accomplishment. It's like, I don't take that away from him. I don't confuse him with one of my favorite guys on the mic, Pusha T. If you ask me who's better, it's like, oh, well, for me, Pusha T. But if you're telling me Drake, I understand, and you have plenty of evidence to say that to me. I'm just going to like point out Exodus, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But But yeah, it's like that over there, and I don't, and we try to front on it and bring up like the ghostwriter stuff, and that's what I mean about like, well, all this stuff. It's like, hear any ghostwriters on here, guys?
No.
Here, like, you know what I'm saying? What other guy of his stature is going to drop this much material on you just like for the hell of it?
For the hell of it, yeah.
I mean, you know what I thought of? You know what I thought of when you sent the message, Sean? I was like, this is some Prince shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, so I got like, I got 50 songs that I'm not keeping. It's like, you got 50 songs you're not keeping. It's like, nigga, do you know who you are? There's got to be about at least 5 to 10 songs in there. Like, at least.
But what sticks out to me, what sticks out to me, though, Coop, is like, I think these previous features that he's dropped this year have been kind of like a swing and a miss, so to speak. But that song is up with 21 and Young Thug. I've seen on Twitter, even the Kendrick fans like, yo, Kendrick's my guy, but this joint right here,
a banger.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the one that's like really, like, yo, I'm back. And if he puts out a project with a handful of those.
I mean, but that's okay. So let's just go to that record right quick, and then we like probably need to move on. But
yeah.
Well, how many records has he already giving us like that? The number of that is ridiculous.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Like the number on that is ridiculous. How many times he's actually done this, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, it's like there is no harming that because this is shit in the tuck.
Right, but we are in a "what have you done for me lately" society, though. That's my point. You know what I mean?
He was just the biggest rap star on the planet this time a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, he's one of the biggest stars on the planet at this point. Y'all do understand? Like, do people understand that? It's like he can like call like certain people that most rappers probably can't. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you can be like, "Hey, I want to do a record with you." They'd be like, "Yep."
Yeah. Easy work. Easy work.
Yeah, let's go get these numbers. Like, imagine like if Drake and Adele like did a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he can actually make that call.
Speaking of the call, do you see where that account tweeted that J. Cole tried to call Jay-Z?
Dude, that was nasty. That was nasty work, man.
Yeah, that was wild.
It's time to go to the next topic.
That was nasty work. I'm glad you did it. That was for cool. I'm glad
Drake petty for that, man. For like
we're working on the Sunday pull up right now. I'm probably gonna like try to pull up Sunday and do more of a breakdown and a dive on the 100 gigs, and also, you know, we got some other stuff like coming up that we need to talk about as well. But yeah,
No
but I
doubt.
was impressed. Hold on. Weren't you impressed overall with the music? From what I've heard, like I've only cycled through it like once. I took like about 30 seconds here, a minute there,
Yeah,
depending.
absolutely.
The
Yeah, the
Lotto joint
record.
was
There's some shit on
oh,
there.
it was Lotto joint was good. Housekeeping knows that was dope.
Yeah,
And stuff was
housekeeping's good.
dope. Yeah,
The other joint that was it blue, green, red. It was all right. You know, it was
Yeah,
dope.
that's joints.
yeah, some bangers on there.
But I mean, when you could throw away dope joints, that's a lot to say about your catalog.
Yeah, not many can do it.
How about this? How about this? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. These are his throwaways. His throwaways, hit wise, and like just quality of music, song wise. Y'all do understand it's like just like on a rap level, like, and on the rap level being that it's like, well, you know, the first part about a song is to make the song good. Well, he makes a lot of good songs, like he does. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the albums to like reflect it, but he's definitely got like the songs that reflect it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. So let's go to one person who's just on the outside. I see the chat is already talking about Big Sean. So Big Sean just had a interview with Charlemagne the God. Shout out to Charlemagne, Monk's Corner, all the Geechees out there in Charleston, where he's from.
He's
Geechee land down there. Shout out to Charlemagne for
I'm
sure.
aware. I'm
I
aware.
thought this was a really good interview. They talked a lot of things, mental health, co-parenting, all of these different things that Big Sean deals with, just from his thought process and how he views himself, as not just a rapper, but also the reality of not being mentioned in the top three or in that big three and be right on the outside, but also having the ability to go toe to toe with anyone in the big three. And he knows that. And he even said like that he won't smoke. He's ready to give smoke to anyone, including Kendrick. Want to get you guys' reaction on that. What do you guys thought about the interview? I thought it was dope. So what you guys think about
Um. Usually I don't. Usually I don't like Charlemagne interviews because he's always going to try to relate it back to himself and mental health and all that stuff and like him writing a book and all that stuff. But for this time, it was appropriate, right? Because we know that Sean's been through some stuff, and him having that mental health talk with Sean was something that I feel like was genuine and appropriate instead of him randomly doing it like he usually does. But I
it?
digress. But I think that it was a very emotional interview. I think Sean was very candid. I'm a big Sean fan. I like how he said what he said, like what big three or whatever, you know what I mean? Because he feels like whether it's a big three, big four, what have you, I'm in that conversation. I can rap with these guys at any point. But he was very honest at the same time about his work ethic. He's like, the only thing keeping me out of that conversation is I haven't been releasing music regularly. So for him to still feel like, he's right there with them skill wise, but be honest about, his own work ethic. And I see Coop face palming because that comes back to his Kendrick point about not dropping nothing in so many years. But I liked how, he was honest about that. Now, the one thing I didn't like about the interview, and then I'll pass it to somebody else, was when he was talking about, the smoke back and forth with Kendrick, which, Charlemagne was going to get him to talk about that. But the showing of the text messages and that sort of thing, which he didn't air them out because he said that's corny. I don't want to, read them live, but he showed them to Charlemagne. But I think even if Kendrick did quote unquote apologize and everything was peace, now that you brought that to the forefront of the interview and said like, yo, he apologized to me and it wasn't no smoke, I think somebody like Kendrick still doesn't take kindly to that. So I would keep your eye out for, because I think you're going to get, if Kendrick drops something, I think it'll be a shot there because I don't know if he takes kindly to like them, looking at the text messages on camera and him confirming Charlemagne, like, yeah, you're right. He apologized to you. If I'm Kendrick, then, you might feel a way about it.
Hey, Sean, I'm going to kick it to you in 1 second, but AG, I got one question before we kick it to Sean to get his thoughts on this.
Mhm.
So, like, okay. So, Here, here's the thing. So what if he like apologized? Like, do you think that first of all, Big Sean can actually beat Kendrick in a battle? And do you think that Big Sean actually is doing this because maybe he needs a beef?
No, I think Sean was genuine. I think he says like to my fans that keep begging me to respond. That was an old leaked track. He didn't put it out officially. He apologized. It's no problem there.
That's not what I asked.
But if it was like, do I think he can go toe to toe with Kendrick? Yes, I do. Number one, I'm a big Sean fan. But two, I know how sensitive all rappers are. That's why I said if Kendrick is seeing that interview, keep your eyes open because I do think we get an updated Big Sean shot, and then we'll get a Big Sean retaliation, and then we'll have a Kendrick Big Sean battle down the road because I think that Kendrick will have something to say about them analyzing his text over the interview.
Well, hold on. Okay, Sean, I promise we're going to get to you, but hold on, AG. One more question. If you was in Kendrick's shoes and some nigga was showing another nigga texts about you apologizing, would you take kindly to it?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Keep your ears open for the next Kendrick thing that dropped. I'm pretty much guaranteeing it's going to be something about Sean in those bars.
I be trying to tell people it's like I don't know how whoever gets down. I'm a grown ass man first.
But I think Sean kind of felt like in that moment he had to prove that
got defensive.
Yeah. Like, no, yeah, you know, my fans acting like I'm ducking smoke, but I'm gonna show you where homie apologized to me on some. But he said that was then. He said we don't talk now.
But what I'm saying is that still felt intentional, like he intended to stir
100%, 100%.
Stir that pot. That's why I was asking. Do you feel like he needs like a rap beef right now? Maybe in his camp's opinion. Maybe that's like you got publicists and HR and like people like not HR PR. You got people like that actually like will be like, hey, like this is what's cracking right now.
Sean's tired. Sean's tired of being in the shadows, and I thought it was interesting because I never heard this angle of the story. But when he was talking about like that stepping on his freestyle and his album rollout and all this stuff, and then even go back to Control. Kendrick still in the limelight on that. And then Sean was like, but it was me who put that song out. It was me. And then he said that the reason why it never came out on the album is because TDE didn't sign off on it. And that's why I didn't really, and I never heard that part of the story before because it caused so much commotion.
I think at the end of the day, that's just industry politics. That has more to do with the stature of the artist impacting it. Sean, like, what are your thoughts on this Sean interview and impending material thoughts, place stature in the game? Let's hear Sean talk about Sean.
Sean on Sean, pause.
Sean on Sean, pause.
I tried not to say that. You niggas both said it back anyway. Y'all this is the most inappropriate hip hop podcast.
It is very inappropriate, and it's
mostly you.
I'm very professional.
You opened up a honey pack at the end of a show 2 shows ago.
That was desperate. I ain't gonna lie. It didn't work.
Cool. I said, see, no matter your position or your stature, you can be desperate sometimes. I said it.
That's right.
No, I knew Sean was desperate. He's just not supposed to show it on camera.
I'm 44. I had to do a thing because you got to be like 20 or 25 minutes.
I had to do a dig. It's not an excavation. You're not looking. Yeah. You're not looking for tunes in Egypt.
You got to hit the bloodstream, man. So you got to get about 20, 25 minutes in. You can't go up there premature thinking you're about to go crazy.
Sean, I asked you to talk about Big Sean. I asked you to talk about Big Sean, not
Sean. Hit the bloodstream. It's crazy.
Okay, we might have to just kick the next topic. And Paul,
my thing with Big Sean is this, man. If I'm Big Sean, look at it like this. I'm on tracks with Eminem. So Eminem co-signs me. He represents me. He represents me very well. Talks highly of my skills. M just don't drop on tracks with anybody that can rap.
From Detroit. They're from Detroit, Sean. I don't know if I can get that.
That's true. But still, M is not going to hop on with anybody that doesn't have a little bit of skill.
That's
and not only that, when they're on tracks together, it's not like M is all the way over here and Big Sean is over here. He's right there neck and
No,
neck.
Sean's performances have been great with him.
And don't stop at Eminem. Talk about Nas, Jay,
Hold on.
Kanye,
All right,
Drake,
hold on.
Kendrick, all of them.
Who's who? He's been on tracks with these guys, and he was not smoke. He held his own, regardless of what we want to say about his voice, his cadence, whatever the case may be. When it came to bar work, he was barring up with some of the best. So he has every right to feel the way he feel. I think the thing that hurt Sean is the fact that, and I think Jack mentioned that he doesn't have a strong crew around him to back him up. When he had that with Ye and that crew, when he was doing all of those things, he was ghostwriting. He was bringing ideas to that crew, and they were thriving, and they kind of left him out to dry. You know what I mean? That entire crew kind of dismantled, and Big Sean, I think, was one of the ones who took the brunt of that dismantle, because 2 Chainz still 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz still smoking guest features. Pusha is still Pusha, right?
Yes.
Kanye's still who he is, whether he's out there or not.
He's a shade of who he used to be.
He is. He very much so is. But he moves the algorithm needle.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's Ye. It's
Big
Ye.
Sean move it. Big Sean doesn't move the
Okay.
algorithm.
So are you saying that Sean doesn't have an identity right now?
Bingo.
No, see, okay, so here's the problem. The problem is that he doesn't have an identity now. The problem is that he doesn't have an identity now because he never had an identity then. Like originally.
Explain some more, Coop.
Like he's like how about this? He's the young guy in the crew. He's like Tayshaun Prince on like the 2004 Pistons. It's like he's part of a championship team, but he's not the driving force behind the championship team, because it's like you got G. Wallace, you got Ben Wallace, you got Chauncey Billups, you got Rip Hamilton. Like you're the 5th guy in the starting lineup of actually an all-time great top. Actually, that's an all-time great starting lineup if you actually like think about it. Like just like fundamentally speaking, in basketball terms, it's an all-time great starting lineup. And so I feel like that's kind of happened to Sean, where it's like, no, like he's just the 5th best player in a championship era, so he's gonna get some of the same treatment.
Right.
No, this is gonna seem like a strange analogy because they couldn't be any more different as MC, but he's gonna get a lot of Cool G rap treatment because of that.
Yes. Good
He's gonna
point.
get a lot of Cool
That's
G.
a hell of an analogy, Coop.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a lot of Cool G rap treatment because it's like, well, you got Rob and Kane.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But people swear by G-Rap, though. Like I said, I'm a Sean fan.
Right, but the people who swear by him, because I swear by G-Rap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the way you swear by Sean is the way I swear by G-Rap, and it's like, no, but when you start getting down and going to the albums, because even when you like go listen to him, it's like on the symphony, like him and Kane is like neck and neck. That's Prime Kane. Prime Kane is as good as it gets, guys.
For sure.
Prime Kane is as good as it gets, right?
But this is Sean's point. It's his contemporaries that swear by him instead of the fans.
Yes. You know why? Remember on Django when old boy said you need to have panache.
Yeah.
Panache. He doesn't have panache. He doesn't, like Jarvis said in the chat, he doesn't have that charisma. Because you don't you don't like him, you don't really care for him. Like you're not, it's like in between, right? I don't want to go too crazy with this, but one thing that I told Coop about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I said, man, what make A2HH work is the fact that a lot of people don't like Coop, but a lot of people love Coop. Right?
No, he did. He told me that.
I told him that.
Like, who the fuck is this nigga? But that's cool.
But I was like, I said, Mike is nice. So a lot of people like niceness and like that dormant guy. And I mean no disrespect at all.
No, I see what you're saying.
There is an identity that it can identify themselves with. I don't think the fan base can identify themselves with Sean either way.
Ooh.
Nah, y'all are cooking. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the psychoanalysis on Sean. But nah, y'all right. And then the Cool G rap comparison was spot on.
Right. You can't. What kind of emotion you have behind Sean? We don't get emotionally driven by Sean. If somebody says Nas is not the GOAT, we go crazy.
Like think about this. LL Cool J is your star.
Yeah.
Rakim is your lyricist. KRS-One is your teacher. Kane is your all-around. Slick Rick is your storyteller. Cool G Rap is Street guy, because all these guys are saying
Yeah.
street shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're the street guy, you know all the other guys are from the streets and they're saying street shit too.
Yeah. The identity is
except for they created kind of a lane
yeah.
outside of the street shit while still talking the street shit.
Yeah, the identity is not as clear. I got a question for both of y'all, right? Because we talked about how in-depth this interview was, and it was candid and it was really good. Do you feel like where the problem lies is that we got more from this interview out of Sean as a person than any of his music?
Damn, I know you was gonna go that way.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Absolutely. How about this? The problem in the gap in his identifiability, like for us, might be in the fact that you have people that the words that they speak in real life and how they actually behave in real life is actually nothing like who they are on the mic, to their detriment. Because it's like, I didn't really know that guy when I was watching the interview. I was like, who the fuck is this?
Bingo.
But then I thought about it. It's like, when have I sat down and watched the Big Sean interview for this long? You know what I'm saying?
Right. We get more out of the interview than the music. But do you think
matter of fact, when's the last time you did an interview like this?
Yes.
Facts.
I'm more entertained by the interview.
But is that what Tyler, the creator, was saying to him? Because it sounded like Sean wasn't even clear on what Tyler was trying to say. He said rapping is your biggest superpower, but it's also, what I'm saying, the worst thing about you, or so I'm paraphrasing. But, I think he was speaking to his ability to just, rap and bars, but we're not getting enough of him.
It's his way of saying, if you would connect all of the dots, you would be a bigger star in this sky, and it would translate to other things for you. And those other things, I think, that exist is the person that we actually saw in the interview.
Right.
Because did you find yourself actually saying, it's like, yo, this is like a highly intelligent,
you're immersed,
thoughtful, well-spoken, calculated, calculated in a natural manner, not like in a devious or nefarious manner. Like, he struck you as somebody that you actually would find interesting.
Right.
And it's like, that's what we've been asking for, actually. It's like, where's the interest? You know what I'm saying?
In the music.
Where's that guy? Where is that guy on record? And listen to what I'm saying, because people do it. No. The key to music is you got to make it work, as in we have to be able to relate to it. So you might be doing a good job fundamentally, but the intangible part is the connection. We got to feel connected to.
Do we get that on this album that he just pushed back? Do you think that version of him is going to be on this album?
I hope so. He has good projects, but he doesn't. That's another thing too. Like, when we talk about J. Cole's catalog, it's in question some things.
It's far better than Sean's.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot about his placement too. So it's like, on a good day, he's fourth place in catalog, where the guy in third place gets ostracized more than he does for his catalog.
Absolutely.
Think about it. The guy ahead of you gets ostracized for his catalog more than you do, but part of that is because, you lay low. As far as this generation is concerned, his ceiling is probably 4. And then there are people that tell you that they prefer A$AP Rocky. I would probably take A$AP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? And so he might.
I wouldn't, but I'm not mad at that.
I mean, just because on some rap shit. You know what I'm saying?
Some people would say Wale. I don't see it, but some people would put Wale.
No, Wale's not top 5 in this generation.
I agree with that. He's not.
No, I mean, he had an opportunity in that.
Yeah. But y'all are spitting, man, for real.
Yeah. What's the next thing, Sean? What we got?
This is a good one. I got this one last thing. We're gonna move on. We pacing really well, because I have this question for both of you guys. I said Prince. Coop, you always talk about Prince, and I know AG, your favorite artist of all time is Nas, of course. Is there a song that you guys can say, this song from this artist really pulls me in? Like, when I'm in a space, in a headspace, and I know if I get this artist in this song, what would that be?
For me, Nas, it would be What Goes Around.
Absolutely.
Poison.
Absolutely. How about you, Cool?
Of all the records that he made, the record that stuck with me as a young child, and that's why it's my favorite album of his, over than Purple Rain, is the song "Sign of the Times" off the album "Sign of the Times." It's some of my earliest memories of me actually remembering the words to a song completely, but also knowing like what he was saying was even deeper than I could understand at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said, in France, a skinny man died of a big disease with a little name. I knew I was hearing something that was just musically like brilliant and genius like, but I also knew it was beyond my comprehension when I heard it too. That's kind of what made it stick. And so I would pick Sign of the Times by Prince.
Great
That
point.
album is so good, man.
That was a
That
phenomenal
album is
album.
crazy.
Phenomenal album. And the reason why I asked you guys that question is because you both went to I could see in your facial expression, you went to that space for that song that you picked, right? For me, it's always been on Trust for Nas
It's a good one.
because I was betrayed by a friend of mine who I looked at as a brother. But we outgrew each other. I kind of outgrew him, if you will. So I've always leaned to that song when I felt a certain way about betrayal. But it always, kind of took me there emotionally. So those of you in the chat, I would ask you to put a song or artist that you are emotionally tied to. For whatever reason, anytime you're in the funk, you're in the mood or whatever, who is that artist you go to? And what's that song you go to? And I asked that, and we can go to the next segment. I asked that because Big Sean doesn't have that emotional attachment.
Right. Hold on, Sean. When you said that, and actually you talked about how you watched our expressions, every time that record comes on, I go to our house in Lithonia, like my mom, my Aunt Sonia, who just passed, rest in peace.
Yep.
My stepdad, my cousin Six and Vici, who I talk about all the time. All of us, and my sister, my first sister on my mom's side, who was one at the time, like a baby at the time. It's like that was our house, and Sign of the Times came out when we had actually like finally like moved out of the city, so to speak, which used to be like the hood. You know what I'm saying? And kind of moved to a nice suburb, which was like Lithonia, and like kind of left Atlanta and like Decatur, and it finally like moved up here. And every time Sign of the Time comes on, I go to my mother playing it in the living room the first time that I heard it, like on a Sunday when she was cleaning the house. Like every time, like I go, like I'm that 7-year-old kid again, hearing it for the first time in the living room that Sunday when she puts it on. Like I still remember like the needle hitting the record and stuff, and so like that connection matters, And you have to grasp people. You have to grasp your audience, no matter what your audience is. Like you have to grasp them and grasp them at that moment where they can't let you go.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. That's like me with Dance. I can't listen to Dance by Nas.
Nah, that's crazy.
I'm emotionally drawn to that song because of events that happened during that time. So it's tough.
Yo, I'm gonna change mine because you prefaced it with Nas, but I didn't know we was going that deep. Pause. But Nas is still my favorite artist, but the song that would be that, how Coop described it, and you relating it to personal issues, Sean, with Trust or whatever, mine wouldn't even be a Nas song if I'm being honest. I say, stuff about Joe Budden, for better or for worse, but that song for me would be Only Human by Joe Budden. That's my one go-to. That song got me through real dark times. Like
that's one of his best.
I listened to that song daily for a long time. Like that's one of my favorite records of all time, bar none.
I would have never thought that about you, AG.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot that people don't know, but yeah, that record got me through some dark times, man. That joint, what I'm saying? Every time I hear it, what I'm saying? I damn near tear up every time I hear it because, it was a spiritual connection to that song, for real.
Hey, you want to know what? Like, guys, like, I can't say this enough. I say it a lot in jest because I usually say it when people are like in trouble with the law or doing like R. Kelly, Diddy type of stuff. Like, and I'd be like, one great album changes everything. But it really, really does because it's the music that really matters at the end of the day. It's why we're sitting here talking about it for hours every week and sometimes on brunch on Sunday, like and a couple hours away from our families and our free time and our other passions and endeavors, like to talk this stuff. It's about the music at the end of the day. And if he makes an album like, and this is what I'm saying, I'm not asking him to make Good Kid, Mad City. Those albums don't get made that often. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's asking you to make that. Nobody's even asking you to make like Forest Hills or Take Care. It's like, make something worthy of putting yourself in the conversation. Actually,
That's true to him.
Absolutely.
right? Where it's like this is some Sean shit, like you know what I mean? Because a lot of people feel like some of J. Cole's albums might be better than Forest Hills Drive, but the reason that Forest Hills Drive is considered by most consensus to be like his true classic and his best record is because it's the best reflection of who he is. The same way Good Kid, Mad City is for Kendrick, the same way Take Care is for Drake. Or if you're reading this now, it's too late, depending on if you consider that an album.
Bingo.
Because it connects you who the artist is.
Right. Exactly. I got to identify with the artist. I have to. That's the only way I can feel the music.
Like, does he even like think about this? How often do you hear like Sean talk about like coming up in Detroit, but in a manner like, how about this? I always go to this record. This is why I love this record. When I go to the setup on It Was Written, it's because it's like, no, he's showing me how they do shit in QB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Sean make the type of records even about Detroit where it's like you showing me like how you do shit in Detroit.
Yeah, he has to be on tracks with other artists from Detroit usually before he gets in that bag.
Yeah, right. No, like I need you in that bag.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what it's missing. He's not missing anything else. He's got the hits. He's got the guest appearances. He's got the money. He's got the girl. He's got the wealth. He's got the fame. He's got the connections. He's got the bars. He's got the songs. He just doesn't have the album. So the albums is really the only thing missing from his tuck. You know what I'm saying? So if he can lay one or two out in this stretch that's just more than solid or good, we can be like, man, that album was great.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm hoping for the best for him. I rock with Sean, so I'm hoping he puts out a
like
know,
if he makes a Born Sinner, that does a lot for him.
That's my favorite Cole record.
See what I'm saying? Like most people, like a lot of people feel that way. Like I actually think in terms of like, if you're talking in terms of like the replayability of a song by itself outside of the album, Born Sinner is easily better than Forest Hills Drive. But there is something about the way Forest Hills Drive plays as an album.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's very KD3 and Magic 3 like.
It is. It's in that vein.
Yeah, where it's like, oh no, the songs on Born Sinner, it's like boom, 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 boom. But the way Forest Hill Drive plays,
front to back,
front to back,
the way it plays.
Yep. So, fellas, let's go to the next one. We got our last segment. Let me get the super chat real quick. We got Deuce. Appreciate you, Deuce. I think Sean is picking a torch with Jermaine drop. Yeah. If J. Cole cannot release something credible this year, and Big Sean drops something banging, we had to revisit that conversation. Ill Magic, $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Active tonight. A song I'm emotionally connected to is Big Crits, I Gotta Stay. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would listen to that song at the time when my grandmother was going through a lot. Yeah, man. Those are the type of joints that pull you in. It pulls you straight in. And you can identify yourself with that artist on what they're going through because you're going through that same thing. And that's what music is all about. That's what we're so passionate about. You know, we argue about who our best artist or rapper of all time, or, you know, artists in general of all time, because we are emotionally attached to it. What it means to me, it means that much more to me and not so much to someone else. So that's why we fight for it. Shout out to the K-Dot fans for fighting for K-Dot because he probably represents a lot of short people, but it's all good.
First of all, I won't be shouting any of you niggas out. Just to let you know. You're a bunch of hoteps. You're a bunch of hoteps. Outside of Cali, you're a bunch of hoteps. I'm not talking about the Cali niggas because I actually want to go back to Cali comfortably. But the rest of you are a bunch of hoteps who don't know anything, and that's all I got.
Cool. You alone, cool. Let them breathe, cool. So, fellas,
you tell them to let their women breathe. Trolling ass niggas.
Yo,
yeah. Yo. The Paracoop gonna come out.
Paracoop gonna come out. Yo, so fellas, the Lox did a Tiny Desk. And before I ask you guys to give your thoughts on it, I want to show you the actual list that they actually played. Mm-hmm. So they did All for the Love, Recognize, Good Love, Good Times by Your Side, Kiss Your Ass Goodbye, Money, Power, Respect, and Are We Gonna Make It? So let's react, let's respond, let's have a conversation about this Lox Tiny Desk and the Lox legacy within itself. How do you guys feel about that Tiny Desk? It was pretty quick. It wasn't that long. It was actually a pretty quick Tiny Desk. I think it was like 30 minutes, maybe.
Nah, it was 17 minutes, bro.
Minutes? Man, I know it was short. I know it was short, but it was dope. It needed
to be at least 30 minutes.
It needed to be about an hour. I couldn't
Right.
do that.
First of all, what I would like to submit to you all is that the best Tiny Desk ever, which is the Her Tiny Desk, is only 18 minutes long, and
I
most of
haven't seen that.
the
I haven't
her
seen
the Her Tiny Desk, that's from 5 years ago. That's when that was one, like the Her Tiny Desk is one of the Tiny Desks that kind of like put her in the stratosphere and put
Mhm.
Tiny Desk in the stratosphere. This is
Is
5
it better than Scarface joint? Because I got that at the top for me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna
It
check
is.
it out. I'm gonna
Like
check
how
it
about
out.
this? The Her Tiny Desk is so impressed with me. Like, and this is where she really caught my attention. It's like I liked her music, but I found myself, and this is back to Prince being my favorite artist of all time, and also in my opinion the greatest artist of all time. When she did her shit live on Tiny Desk, it sounded better to me, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
it's like your music sounds better live. It's like, well, I don't know a lot of people that way.
Nah, it's not.
It's
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna check that out for sure.
it's got millions of views now. Like I still play it. Like I mean, like so we talk about connection and stuff. It's like, well, it helped get me through my breakup. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually what I would play at night, like when I would like go to bed like alone. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, going through it when you go through the breakup, it's like no, Her Tiny Desk. Yeah, it's
I'm
like
gonna
that.
check it out.
18 minutes. It's too quick. Used to just put that shit on repeat and just watch it.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Whoever does these bookings, man, they do a good job.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Can I submit something to you all, if I may?
Yeah.
I didn't love the tracks that they chose, if I have to be honest.
Mm.
It was an interesting lineup. That's why I wanted to show it to you guys. That was an
I
interesting
didn't
lineup.
agree. First of all, I still think I would have loved to hear the Mighty Mighty D Block over a live band.
Okay.
Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
that's
be a
one of
great
them
way to
ones.
start a Tiny Desk?
Yeah,
And it's like on some lock shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
everybody stumping and clapping, like stump.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm surprised Ride or Die Chick didn't make it.
I was thinking that too, like Ride or Die
I'm okay
Trick.
with that not making it.
I
I'm
think
okay
that would have been great to
We
hear.
know
live.
why you're okay with it not making it, Sean.
with that, man.
Nobody asked you what you thought, Sean.
Oh man.
Nobody
Y'all
asked you
friendly,
about
woman.
So I'll go pull another picture out of the test drawer. Like,
Or
Straight up.
it's
That was
gonna
during that time
or it's
too.
gonna pull some more
That was-
quantifiable facts out.
Well, that was during that time too, man. Like I want to put a picture out.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you this before you proceed with your breakdown. When you first heard All for the Love with the keys at the beginning, now granted they didn't rap their verses, but you wasn't like, they about to be on some ish. Like, you know what I mean?
So that's what I'm
That
saying.
set the tone for me.
It's a great tone setter, but they didn't keep that tone.
Man, that's harsh,
And you
cool.
want, I'm just being honest. It's like I actually would have preferred that they performed that record. It's the best record on their first album, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Man.
perform the best record on your debut album?
Man, I thought we was all gonna come here and wax poetic about this joint. I want to hear what you didn't like, Coop. This is crazy.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just like because of who they are and what they represent, I would have liked to seen like a little bit more balance. It's like like I didn't even. It's gonna sound crazy. I didn't even love the "We Gonna Make It" like that.
On the Tiny Desk, or just
I felt like the timing was off.
What about Money, Power, Respect bringing the strings out? Like, you wasn't feeling that?
I love that one.
No. That was dope. That was one of the better moments.
And then the young lady doing that Kim's ad libs and stuff, she was on fire. Like, she was killing it.
She was. I'm glad it did her so to get heat.
I don't agree.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I don't agree.
Oh,
I don't agree.
So, hold on, cool. So
she was good. She was good, but I didn't think that she was like. I didn't feel like she was like NBA Jam on fire. I was actually finding myself asking, it's like, are they gonna rap the DMX verse and is Kim coming out? Because if not, they could have picked Ride or Die Chick.
You know what?
Wow.
I'm gonna ask you if this was one of your problems before you even get to it, because I can see where you're going.
Well, y'all have kind of like taken all of my rhetoric out of me, so we can pass the baton.
No, because I'm really intrigued on why you didn't like it as much as I did. Were you mad? Because with the song selection, were you mad at the diplomatic approach? Because it seemed like it was like a strategic effort, and like, yo, we got to get this joint with the Chic verse. We got to get this joint with the Styles P like solo.
Yeah, but yes, it is, because I want to hear. We're gonna RUFFRYDE revolver, semi-automatic in the PG hoopty,
Hoopty.
getaway
Yeah.
driver, breathe easy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
like, can you imagine,
of
like, the
rolling.
violins with that going? Boop, 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 boop,
You're
boop, boop,
almost
boop, 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 boop.
you're almost changing my perspective. I'm kind of rolling with you, but I'm not. I think if the set was longer, I think
Like,
we get those.
none of y'all better.
Mhm.
All right, I'm with you now, Coop. This is crazy. Like, y'all
None of y'all
witnesses.
better.
This might be the first time live on air that like Coop like the swayed me all the way,
None of
changed
y'all
my
better.
mind.
Yeah.
None of y'all better. Can I
Yeah,
interest
the same
anybody
story.
out here, and none of y'all better?
Primo, yeah, man. Like,
Come
But
on.
then
damn,
repping
Coop, why you have to mess this up for me, man? You know, it's this and then the comment not
how about
doing
this?
hooks. You done messed two things up for me.
Tiny Desk is intimate, and you want to know where I learned this about Tiny Desk? Watching Scarface and Juvenile, I realized when you're most honest about your best shit, and you really just get honest about your shit, and like really just give people your best shit. Like, Juvenile's whole set was raunchy, but it's like that's what he does well, and he just went for it. It's Tiny Desk. Do what you do well and go for it. Like, you want to know what it would have been great on this Tiny Desk? Like, to start off, if they weren't gonna do like the Lox shit, is to start off with "Feel Me" by Kiss, off "Kiss the Game Goodbye," something like that. You know
That's
what
one
I'm
of my
saying?
favorite
Live.
Kiss songs.
Think about the strings playing with that while he's rapping that verse and going
Yeah.
into it. Like, it's an intimate setting. Like, make it intimate. So it's like either like tear the club up from the window to the wall, or like hit them with the "Feel Me" joints. And like hit them with that thought provoking like stuff that they actually do have the capability of doing in like some of the hits. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you're saying
Think
like,
about this. They didn't do Benjamins.
well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Let's be clear.
No. That guy is in trouble. He can't say
They get money about respect.
anything right now. His attorneys have bigger problems.
Yeah.
His attorneys
So
have
you're
bigger
saying
problems
go.
than the Lox doing all about the Benjamins.
So you're saying go the Style P.
Like, hold on, AG, not to cut you off. Imagine like going into it and Kiss is actually telling the story. It's like, yeah, so like, you know, like Puff came to me and asked me, you know, to write like, it tells the story and then actually spits the verse how he wrote it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did he wrote the verse? What y'all want to do?
Yeah.
Running from, and when you actually listen to it now, running from the Jake and the Taurus, that's like, yeah, that's 97 Kiss. You know what I'm saying?
And you would respect it more coming from Kiss because he wrote it, but
right. Like,
so
y'all didn't pull that out the bag, but like there's so many other things in their legendary bag. I feel like they could have pulled out the bag.
So you're saying, you know, from the intimate approach, maybe go the Styles P I'm Black route, something like that.
Either that or just go the gangsta ass. I'm gonna murder half of Yonkers on my albums because that's what I do approach. Like, pick one or the other.
I'm almost rolling with you, Coop, but
give me war, give me peace. Don't give me this in between shit.
I'm almost rolling with you, Coop. Thanks for ruining the Tiny Desk for me, like you ruined
it for
Common.
everybody else too.
Common not doing hooks and ruined the auditorium for me.
Glad I could be of assistance.
I'm still standing on it, boy.
Ridiculous.
Go ahead, Sean. I don't got nothing, man. Coop, man.
Yeah.
He put a damper on my. I came on here ready to like wax poetic about the Tiny Desk.
Well, you texted me like, "Yo, man, this Tiny Desk is the best I've seen in my life." Like, you was going crazy. You was like, "Yo, we are."
Nah, it's not better than Scarface. Not better than Face. Let's not get carried away. Yeah.
He went crazy. He was like, "Yo, we
not
are
better than Usher's either. Not better than Usher, her, or Scarface."
Yeah, watch this. Like, Usher's a goat, though, man. Usher's a goat.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad that the three of them had a chance to shine individually, as a collective as well. I get it. I get for what they had to do. You know, we can go through their catalog, and let's be honest, fellas. Let's be honest. I know Jack is going to kill me for this, but do we think We Are the Streets is a classic?
And some of them beats, though, some of them Swiss joints didn't age well.
Do you think it's a classic?
The stuff
But
on there.
but FU though, FU is my favorite Swiss beat of all time. That or World War III, one of those two.
It's a classic.
That album is really, really great. It really is.
Mhm.
Is it a classic?
But I don't know if it's a classic because here's a couple things. I feel like it's a little too long. And I feel like some of the beats aren't strong enough. And I'm not going to blame it totally on Swiss because here's also the reality of matters. Since this was their
Killer on there.
Well, this was their break-off album. They could have gotten more primo. They could have went a couple places and did a couple things, guys. Like, this is in a time where a lot of the guys who we still hold high all time are still actively like making beats. It's like, no, they could have like probably went and gotten some Large Professor, some Q-Tips, some Pete Rock, some Alchemist, some Havoc, some RZA. Like they could have.
The era was different though. I mean, but
the era was different, but part of what made them so great is that they represent an appropriate transition for the hip hop head into that stratosphere. And so,
which album do you like better, Coop? Their Bad Boy album or We Are the Streets?
Oh, We Are the Streets. It's not even conversation. Okay. Fuck you blows everything off.
Mm-hmm.
Off the first album, and Breathe Easy is my joint.
Felony, it's crazy.
That's the record that I was about to say. The Styles joint, Felony.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I feel like we had this conversation before, Sean, on Station Head, didn't we not? About We Are the Streets being borderline classic.
I didn't think it's borderline classic. I don't think it's a classic. I don't think it's borderline. I'm being honest. I think it's a dope album. But
like, how about this? It's considerably better than Watch the Throne to me. Like, it's considered, like, if I'm giving Watch the Throne a 4, I'm giving like We Are the Streets like a 4.25 or a 4.5. Like, there's a step up. Think about how the album starts off. Everybody is a snake. That's why I got to keep my grass cut so I can see them when they coming. And they ass up because the niggas that you went to school with will catch you while you're in your new whip and turn your brains into Cool Whip. Niggas that you running around getting ass with ain't gonna help you do nothing but carry your casket. Oh my goodness.
He was going crazy.
Starts off like that. That's almost better than that.
He was going crazy, but she got the best verse on that, hands down.
Like, that's one of their like bar work wise. That's one of their best mic performances as a group. Is Fuck You.
Easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Hey, yo, when he said at the hand I write with, need an oven glove, my shit's so hot. Listen, I went crazy when he said that. Like,
Can I live?
Can
I live? Look, man. Fuck you. Can I live? Breathe easy.
Can I live is crazy.
The last joint on it, the last song, We Are the Streets.
Felony niggas, Blood Pressure with Kiss.
Going at Diddy, yeah.
Yeah, the We Are the Streets record.
80%
love that beat. That's what I mean about some of those beats is that no, they're in pocket and they're on time. Some of those beats didn't hold up as well, but that's a great album.
This is a dope album. I think remember back then it got killed in the magazines. That the magazines
I think it got like 4 in the source.
No,
the source gave it like 3. I think it was like 3.5. Remember they were saying
3.5.
They would say the focus is too much on Diddy.
I think it was a 3.5. But what I love about that album, that Rough Riders compilation set the tone with, Dope Money and joints like that. I think the anticipation for that joint was like so high around that time. Like,
but it was also the setup for Kiss. Because
we're gonna get into that.
It was meant for Kiss.
It was meant for Kiss. It was let's get Kiss on the forefront because remember Kiss blazed the Rough Riders compilation.
Yep.
He was a star on that. He was a star on the features on a remix.
Yep.
Of Amaya. So this was Kiss coming out party.
I would tell you this too. Even though Kiss was coming out, DMX was the man.
Oh, we know that.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because remember 2000.
Ain't no yes and no.
Remember X was slowing down some by this time. Because remember X
on the Rough Riders compilation. Like the DMX
movies at the time too.
Yeah, this is and then there was X era. X was still hot as fish grease.
I think
2001.
I think X's record to close out the Rough Riders compilation might be the strongest record on there still.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. He killed it. But
it's either that or Dope Money for me. I love Dope Money.
Yeah. Either that or Dope Money. I can see.
I think Rough Riders purposely.
How about this? Kiss and X got Kiss and X got solo songs on the Rough Riders compilation. X has the better song. Kiss of Death is a dope.
Oh yeah, I mean Kiss. I mean, look, X was X. X was X. By this time, he had 3 albums out. By this time, they were all multi-platinum. By this time, selling 5
2. It was 2 by now. The third one hadn't dropped yet.
Because he had dropped 2 in '98, and that third one came in '99. Remember, he dropped 2 in '98. Remember?
Yeah, but Rough Riders compilation is before the third album. I'm pretty certain.
I think, and then there was X came out after the compilation.
Yes, correct. When did Rough Riders 2 came out?
That was before the Great Depression.
Okay.
That album was kind of depressing.
Right. But I'm not mad at your take, Sean, about We Are the Streets being close to classic. Now, if I'm using that buy-in, I'm going to use that on Kiss the Game Goodbye instead of We Are the Streets.
Yes, because
I favor that more.
And we are in the anniversary of Kiss the Game Goodbye.
Yes.
I felt like Kiss the Game Goodbye is closer to a classic than We Are the Streets is to a classic.
Yeah,
it checks every box, but the problem in checking every box, it seemed kind of formulaic in which how he did it, like West Coast joint, street joint, lady joint, hard joint, Lox joint, radio friendly joint. Like it seemed like he was setting out to do that versus it happened organically. And I think that's the only thing that kept it from being a classic. But if you look at like the joints on here, I mean, you got Show Discipline, like Coop said, Feel Me. With DMX is crazy. None of y'all better. Coop mentioned that. We Gonna Make It, classic track. You know what I'm saying? Knock Yourself Out is a classic club and radio record. It had everything, and Kiss was the hottest rapper going right then and there. Yes, you had Jay, you had Nas and the beat, but as far as anticipation, wasn't nobody anticipated more than Kiss's solo and Prodigy solo around that era.
And Kiss delivered where Prodigy, God bless, did not.
Agreed.
Okay, so first of all, Kiss was supposed to be 50. Like the career that 50 had as a solo artist was supposed to actually be Kiss's career. He was supposed to be the one to take the baton from Jay and from Nas.
Yep, like he was next up.
He was supposed to be next
up. Yeah.
That's part of what 50's feat accomplished, because like it's not hard to take the baton from Nas and Jay and kind of like surpass somebody like a Jada Kiss in the process. It's not an easy haul. It's
not at all.
The toughest hauls in the history of rap. It might
be
the toughest haul in the history of rap. That's why it's like as far like people need to start looking at 50's reign. Like I don't mean to sidebar. People need to start looking at 50's reign and his run as like Rakim and Jay like
lightning in a bottle.
Like where it's like no. That guy for like, you know what I mean, about 3 years, but like that guy for 3 years, like being that guy for 3 years in this in this climate, which was a turnover heavy, like fast, rapid type of climate, even when we were kids, like it's and still exists and even more rapidly so now to this day. It's like, no, that means something in the time that he did it, because he also did it at a crucial time. Like he's very much a transitional figure, like Tupac is in a lot of ways too, in terms of transitioning the game into a new sphere. So it's like he took the baton from our two greatest MCs. He took it away from Kiss, who was supposed to be in the top 5 all-time conversation. And I'm saying took it away like in a like, you know, like it's just how the cards like play.
It's more commercially viable, you know.
Yeah. He works in the system very much. He works in the system better, just like Drake works better in the system, just like Jay works better in the system, just like L worked better in the system.
Yeah, it was the perfect fit for that system. He was. I think M and Dre needed 50 just as much as 50 needed M and Dre during that time.
Yeah, I agree.
But here's some of the pushback that I'm going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the thing with Jada Kiss is that when people are expecting you to replace Nas and Jay in the pantheon of like all-time great rappers all time and New York rappers all time, the bar work level required is different. And there is nothing on Kiss the Game Goodbye that is Illmatic, It Was Written, Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1 worthy. It's not the same fucking level.
No.
Let's just keep it real. But hold on. And also too, there is the fact that Nas totally stunted on him on Show Discipline. Like he found a whole nother pocket on his beat, just literally totally blistered the beat.
He blacked out.
He did black out.
He blacked out on that track. That's actually one of his guests.
It's hard to be righteous when life can just stop. Yo, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. In my opinion, that's one of his. In my opinion, that's one of his 10 to 15 best guest appearances.
Yeah.
And
this was becoming before, Stillmatic. This was the ramp up.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying about the album. First of all, Jada's Got a Gun is not a great way to start off an album.
Agreed. That's one of my complaints.
You're right. I love that song, but you're right. You're right.
The next record is Show Discipline. The next record is Show Discipline, where Nas blisters you on the track. I wish he would have put Show Discipline further back, because after I'm hearing the second track of you on your first solo album, it's like, well, you can't fuck with like today's version of Nas, and that's not Illmatic. It was written version of Nas, although it's an appropriate approximation for how time works. It's like not that guy, but real fucking close to that guy. And it's like, well, that guy just blistered you on your debut album. You know what I'm saying? On your debut album. Like on track 3. Like this is the second time I'm hearing you and I'm watching Nas smoke you. Then you go in to Knock Yourself Out. And so it's like, okay, that's not really like his thing, but I like Knock Yourself Out. I think it's a dope ass record.
Yeah, he was everywhere in the clubs at that time.
Yeah, no, I think he did a great job with it, but I don't feel like you hear Jadakiss until track number 5, which is We Gonna Make It, which has Styles P on it. And then after that, it goes to None of Y'all Better, which is track 6. So part of my problem with Kiss the Game Goodbye is that I don't feel like I actually hear Jadakiss till it gets to Feel Me.
How do you feel about Kiss's Spit?
It's cool. It's just it's okay. Like I don't think it's a bad record, but I don't think it's a great record. It's 3.5. Right. 3.5. As far as the records go, 3.5.
What about It's Time I See You?
Oh, I love It's Time I See You.
Okay.
It's Time I See You's the shit.
And then X kind of stole the show on but X gonna steal the show wherever he goes.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's your debut album. So it's your debut album, and like Nas at this stage is like at the end of his tip top lyrical peak, correct?
That's fair.
Well, you're not better than that guy. Like that guy roasted you on record. You get on record with DMX. Yeah. Look, you get on record with DMX. What happens? Because that's prime tip top DMX. And what happened? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's like, so I think he kind of put himself in a box with how the album started, with the guest appearances being so stellar. And it's just like, well, how can I put you over X? Can I put you like in the conversation with Nas? I feel like he redeemed himself a lot on the Made You Look remix.
Oh, 100%. That's one of his most memorable verses. But I'm with you. The stuff that you're kicking right now is why 2001 is my second favorite year in hip hop behind 1996. Because as great, 2001 is my second favorite year because we got the Jay-Z and Nas battle. We got the Jay and Nas battle, right? And we got the Kiss and Siegel battle going on at the same time. But as great as Kiss the Game Goodbye is, and as great as The Reason is as a Beanie album, I love The Reason. And I think it doesn't get enough credit being a precursor to the sound on the Blueprint. Like the Dynasty and The Reason are warm-ups going into the Blueprint sound that they finally mastered for Jay. But you can hear remnants of that, on Beanie's album.
Well, there's rumors those records were for Beanie.
Right. So as great as The Reason is, and as great as Kiss the Game Goodbye is, there's a whole nother level to be tapped into. And that's how you get the Blueprint. That's how you get Stillmatic. But this is all going down in the same year in the course of like a 4 or 5 month span. Because, the anniversary for Kiss the Game Goodbye was this week. I want to say The Reason came out in that was before Kiss the Game Goodbye, I believe. Yeah. Jay is in September and Nas is in December with Stillmatic. That fourth quarter run of those albums, I love 2001. That
just came out in that time span. No, Fabulous came out the same day as Jay.
Yeah. But to your point, Coop, as good as this album is from Kiss, and it was the effort, and he should have ascended a little bit higher. Like they say, it's levels to it. and we we saw the levels, and it was made very clear. But I don't like to take away from Jada and his debut. It's close to a classic, not a classic, but I think that he put out a hell of a record with his debut, and his hype was really out of here to be able to live up to that.
Here's what I'll tell you about the album. If we're talking about the Rough Riders run in the industry, we know it's not touching It's Dark and Hell is Hot, so that's not conversational.
No.
Yeah, it's not conversational. But is it the second best rap album to come out of the Rough Riders camp outside of It's Dark and Hell is Hot? Where does it rank in the Rough Riders camp catalog?
This might be a hot take, but I like Kiss the Game Goodbye better than Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. So you might be right.
I think the songs are better. I just think that Flesh of My Flesh plays better. And I think X is better at that time, just overall.
I don't know.
I think it's close. I think it's close, though, AG. That's why I'm asking, because I would tell you that it's like, well, after It's Dark and Hell is Hot, I would immediately go to Flesh of My Flesh or Kiss the Game Goodbye or A Gangster and a Gentleman.
Or We Are the Streets. It's a grouping of a few albums at that second spot.
Here's the thing. I don't think We Are the Streets is better than A Gangster and a Gentleman or Kiss the Game Goodbye.
I agree with that, but it's not far and away better. But.
No. It's for me. How about this? If I'm working in order, I think Flesh of My Flesh and Kiss the Game Goodbye are comparable. I think that A Gangster and a Gentleman would be next, and I feel like that the Lox album, like We Are the Streets, is like kind of comparable to A Gangster and a Gentleman. Like it has more high moments, but it's not as consistent.
But I think people downplay it so much, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Like if I'm saying it, like Jadakiss might not have a solo chip, but in my eyes, he sure as hell made a NBA Finals run. You know what I'm saying with that album.
His placement is so funny because it's like he came along when what he did was so highly regarded that the expectation was that he replaced like how about this? If Big had lived, you know what I'm saying? We're probably having, and the same thing with Pac, we're probably having a Nas, Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie conversation for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't equate to that. But that's not fair to him. But that's who he came into the game on the heels of. So it's
in
like,
my book, he does, because I have him fifth behind those four guys on my personal list.
Right. But he's coming off the heels of those guys. And so, like, what I can really say about him is I don't know if anybody came in the game on the heels of something like that.
But we've heard him rap with Big. We've heard him rap with Nas. We've heard him rap with Jay. We've heard him rap with Pun. We've heard him rap with Eminem. Anybody.
Yeah.
No. He can rap. He can rap with any. It's not even a question of that. He can rap. Biggie wanted to do more songs with him. Biggie, like Life After Death Biggie, that's rapping better than like anybody who's ever lived practically. Like wants to do songs with him. So like the skill level and the talent is there, but he doesn't. Not to be funny, he doesn't have a Reasonable Doubt. He doesn't have Blueprint. He doesn't have a Ready to Die, Life After Death, a Illmatic. It was written. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, a Paid in Full. Like he doesn't have these albums, and like those are the people lyrically that he is considered to be comparable to. And when you hear him on the mic, it is a legit thought to say that. But it has to translate to the album, and he doesn't have one of those seminal albums where you go, "That's that nigga."
But to you and Coop and Sean both, where do you think Kiss the Game falls in the next tier of like the legends, like Nas, like say for instance, Kiss the Game Goodbye compared to A Godson, or Kiss the Game Goodbye compared to Volume 1 for Jay? Where does that fall in line there?
It's not better than Volume 1. It's not better than Volume 1. It's 97 Hove.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not better than Godson.
Godson better than 97 Hove.
I think it's close, but I agree with y'all, but I think it's close.
No, it's not close. Imaginary Player and Streets is watching her back to back. That's better than everything on Kiss the Game Goodbye.
I mean, those two songs in particular, yes, but I'm talking about
Where
the
I'm
full album.
From's better than everything on Kiss. No,
Yeah.
Jay has songs on Volume 1 that are better.
Where I'm From is my favorite Jay record, so I'm not arguing there.
Godson has made you look.
No.
There we go.
A Million
But
and One
Kiss is on
Questions.
the
Rhyme No
remix,
More?
man. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't. You Must Love Me. That's what I mean. Think about it. 97 Hove caught a bad one. Like it's like,
Okay.
what is this? This isn't Reasonable Doubt. It's like
Okay, so I agree with that, but does Kiss, and then we can move on because we've been on this for a while, but do you think Kiss suffers from the same thing we talked about with Big Sean? Because you get who Kiss is on the Feel Me record, so did Kiss suffer from some of that same stuff where he's spitting like with the best of them, but we didn't get enough of him personally on the record?
I don't think so.
Like, how about this? He might be a better Cool G rap analogy than even the Big Sean analogy. This is going to happen in every generation. Like he's definitely in a lot of ways like Cool G rap for his generation. Like in a lot of ways.
I'm not mad at that. Man.
Like in all the ways. I think he's actually even. But here's the thing about it. He's actually more notarized than G rap. That's why I don't make the G rap comparison. Because on most people's lists, they actually have Kiss ahead of G rap.
Yeah.
And Kiss is likable. He has a identity.
No, he's funny. The only laughter during the Tiny Desk is when he like makes a little joke, like he's a very insightful and funny guy.
Right.
He's not rah Biggie funny, but he is like insightful. Still make the room laugh funny.
He's showing proof even at the battle with Dipset. Kiss was Kiss at
that was one of the happiest moments for me as a hip hop fan, because I think that opened a lot of eyes and got more people paying attention, because I've always had Kiss at like my 5th or 6th spot, hovering around that, and people would look at me crazy. But I think when the verses happened, I think a lot of people was like, yo, Kiss is different.
It showed you that he's one of those.
Yeah.
I don't like when rappers take certain beats that certain rappers have rapped over and made songs out of. Who Shot You by Biggie is one of those records that I feel that way about. It's like I really don't want to hear nobody but Big on there, if you really want to know the truth.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear nobody but Big over that beat. That beat's made for Big. That beat was made for Big. Like of all the beats that he rapped to, like all that other side shit and that bullshit and whatever in the back and forth, like beat wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As far as making a beat for a certain rapper. Oh, it doesn't get much better than Big on Who Shot You. So I don't want to hear nobody really rapping over that beat.
No, I ain't mad at that.
But when I mean Kiss killed shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I mean he killed it to the point where it's like, no, I don't mind at all. And I play that shit over and over and over again, as a matter of fact. And he's probably the only rapper that's rapped over a track that I feel that way about the beat fitting the rapper and been okay with it. Man, that moment is about, like, as far as special moments in modern day rap times, if I was picking a moment, that might be my moment. Yeah. Because like it's everything that came with it, because you could tell he was there. No, he's like, where are we at? Like the shit that he's talking before and going in. You know what I mean? And then you actually start listening to the bars, and then you're hearing like how he's just like he's going for it. It's like
he recognized the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's like, no, he was there. He was there in the moment as much as any rapper has been there in a moment that we've seen live for TV. You get what I'm saying? Like, we usually don't see rappers in their element, in their moment, live. Like, we got to watch him live in his element and in his moment, and he, like, grabbed it the way very few MCs ever have.
He knew that when are you going to have the opportunity to be front and center at the Garden with the world watching, because we were on lockdown with COVID.
And the most beautiful thing about it, and this is how teamwork make the dream work, no, Sheik and Styles was the main niggas agging him on that night.
Yep.
They was agging him on. Like,
Facts.
come on.
Yeah.
Like, show him who the fuck you is, nigga. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, be our front man tonight. Like, they cool with him being the front man. There ain't no animosity. There ain't no bullshit behind it.
No.
It's like, no, this Kiss, this our front man. Go be our front man tonight in the Garden.
Know who you are.
And shout out to Kiss, man. Legend. Top 5 dead or alive, and that's just off one LP.
That was a lot, though.
He's not that, but he's up there. He's up there.
He's up there.
He's in the top 20. He's in the top 20.
And we're going to get out of here. Lox, D Block, Act like you know. Lox Silver Outcast. Mad Max. Mad Max, another super chat. Mad Max, another super chat.
Hold on. Mad Max, you need to watch your tone. Don't be pulling up late talking this bullshit.
I agree with you, Mad Max.
Okay, you can agree all you want to. Southern Playalistic, ATLians, and the Clementine Stankonia say different. You can think that all you want.
Mad Max, I'm with you, Mad Max. Mad Max, another super chat. We look at 50 run like X run. No one gets the God Rakim level. Running something whole for 9803. And chill on Kiss. He and Prodigy are New York crown princes. They just beloved and can do no wrong. I don't disagree there. Mad Max,
I prefer Prodigy over Kiss, but objectively might have Kiss ranked higher at this point.
Yeah.
But had Prodigy been here, I don't think it would be that way.
Yeah. Then there was X over anything except it's dark. That's a great take. But fellas, it's our time. It's a 2-hour show. We're going to give people the gift of time back. So we appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share.
Yo. Real quick. Sunday? Little Sunday action?
Let's do it.
Maybe. I might be able to pull up. We'll see.
Yeah, we talk about it.
Okay.
Tell a friend. We're gonna circle the block on y'all.
We gotta talk about these 100 gigabytes so I can get my OVO jacket.
Yeah.
For my jacket.
And we ran short on time, but shout out to the other anniversary joints, KD2. You know what I'm saying? Got the King's Disease, and then the Fix. 5 Mike. Scarface is one of the GOATs. Recognized.
I think it's Scarface's second best album. I think King's Disease.
Behind the Diary. Yep.
Behind the Diary. King's Disease 2, in my opinion, is probably the 4th best album in the 6 series run.
Has the best song from the run on that album.
Yeah, Store Run's the best song. Yeah, Store Run's the best song. Benny's about to drop.
Is it tonight? I think it's tonight, right?
Tonight.
I believe so.
The video's already dropped while we were live.
And maybe Drake. Not out of the realm of possibility.
You never know. Gonna keep on saying this till it happens.
Yeah. We got more to talk about.
No. Message to Jermaine Cole. You're not done this year.
Mighty quiet riding that bike around town with that helmet on. You're riding that electrical bike with a helmet on.
That's wild.
I was talking to the people. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the people.
I just want to make sure I bring context to it. My bad.
Talk to the people. Oh, you want to give context to it? First of all, more of us as blacks need to be riding bikes. Okay.
Facts. Yeah, shout out to the bike riders. Yo, riding a bike with a helmet on is crazy. I ain't gonna front. Riding a bike with a helmet on is nasty.
He's trying to bring back Rough Riders.
Yeah, on a bicycle.
Jack said LL's dropping tonight. I thought the L was September.
No,
maybe it's a single. Maybe it's a single.
It's a single.
More singles?
Y'all heard it here first. Care Package 2 coming soon. Stamp it.
You're first.
You heard it from AG. Don't let nobody steal that.
It's too late. It's already out there in the world now.
We will, AG.
We'll run up on the chat.
We'll run up on them. I know what it's like to have these niggas take your shit.
Word.
We saw LG in the chat earlier. He already got that.
Who?
LG.
Oh.
He'll be out.
Fine.